Navigation in the IP control center. After the decision for the style has been made, another consideration should be focused on the navigation style of our project. Usually, you choose between two options: classical page navigation, with navigation keys on each page, and container navigation, where basically only one page holds the complete navigation and there are no navigation keys on the content pages. Page navigation. Here it is important to define a clear hierarchical structure. You need a home page, which is our index page. Normally, you will navigate from here to a number of main pages, which in turn will again branch to further detail pages if applicable. Each page should have a home button, so you never can get lost. Beside this, you will only jump one level up or down using the navigation keys. Otherwise, the number of keys could not be handled. Navigation elements are available transparent or with colored background. Their size is flexible, just depending on the task. Let's have a small example. In the Pages menu, we create a new page. We call it Page Navi Test. The properties comprise the name, which we enter here, then the background, where we can choose to have a plain color, no color, transparent, or a background image imported from a file. Scale option. If ticked, the image will be adapted to the size of the page and fully visible, but perhaps distorted. XY ratio. If ticked additionally, the image will be fully visible, but some part of the background is perhaps blank. However, the size of the page can be adapted to the image as well. If none of the options are ticked, then the image will be centered on the page. On this page now, we insert a label as headline and a page navigator. This page navigator will be labeled with back to index. The link of this page navigator points to the index page. To see the design being created step by step, we also place some display and control elements on this page. I take buttons from switching and another one from shutter blind. They are pulled by drag and drop onto the workspace and aligned with the activated grid by the Snap to Grid option. Whenever such an element is selected, its properties are automatically displayed on the right toolbar. Here you have various parameter options, which will be explained in more detail in the next movie. To make it clear in this moment already, the most important property is the link to the process item, which is object, group address, or virtual data point, which defines its function for later. Now save your work, if the autosave hasn't done this already, and return to the index page. Here we also insert a page navigator, label it with forward, and link it with our new page, Page Navi Test. Save once more, and then release the new and the modified page as HTML code to the IPCC. Call up the IPCC's IP address in the browser again. If necessary, perform a refresh and test the navigation keys now. Container navigation. The second and more modern option is the container navigation. Here, several content pages will pop up in only one frame. The start page is always active and visible, but the content changes inside a frame on this start page. The advantages are: this page is never left because it contains the navigation keys, and on the content pages there is no navigation at all. Therefore, in a visualization with a higher complexity and several frames, these content pages can be displayed in any of the frames. Another advantage is the option to show external web links inside such a frame. A hierarchical button navigation cannot serve for such a flexibility, because in this case you would have to leave the visualization and there is no clearly determined way to come back to it. In the X-Factory sample project, there are also such container pages: the smartphone and the tablet navigation. On the tablet page we have two internet links, a webcam and the weather forecast. If you open these web links, you nevertheless remain inside the IP Control Center's page. For a better understanding, let us design our own little container navigation for two pages. At first, we must create or choose the content pages that we want to use. I called them Practice Light and Practice Blinds. Then I create another page to host the container frame. Let's call it Container Navigation. On this page, the navigation container must be placed. You can see its size from the border markings. In its properties, you can change the size if necessary, and more important, define the default page, which pops up inside the frame when you navigate to this container page. Clicking on the zoom icon, a list pops up with all existing pages of the visualization. I choose Practice Light and confirm this choice. Since our page Container Navigation must be reached from the index page, we place, as already discussed in our previous sample, direct navigation buttons both on the index page, Jump to Container Navigation, and the Home button on the Container Navigation page. Additionally, we place two Page Navigator buttons below the Home button, next to the container frame. In the properties of these buttons, we have to define two items: the link page, which page should be displayed, and the target container. As you can see from my already completed buttons, you can use text, graphics and background colors to style your buttons in the desired way. Now let us test our result once more. We release our three pages again to the IP Control Center. We export them and we return to the page, to the home page, get to our sample page, and here you go. You can switch between the blinds control and the light control.